Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our discussion on The Bachelor episode 4. I'll say this right out of the gate. I've never been happier to see someone go up to a lead and be like, a lot of these people suck than I was at the end of this episode with Katie.
I'm so glad Katie spoke up because I am really over this.
Can we just give Katie the Bachelorette now? Because whoever, ends up being in the role of quote unquote tattling to the lead, I hate even calling it that, but that person never wins, so obviously Katie's not gonna win. But she deserves some sort of medal for potentially turning this season around from just the cesspool of garbage we were heading towards.
Yeah, I mean, we had some new women show up tonight, and the other women are like, why would they bring them in? Gee, I don't know, because everyone that seems to be in the house right now is kind of going down a dark path. Of course, there are some exceptions, but there's a lot of nonsense going on.
Well, we'll talk about the nonsense. We will talk about the lights amidst all of the despair, because there are a few people who I think we both genuinely really, really like.
Yes.
But as we weave through this, if only we had pumpkin boats that we could sort of row our way through this episode. If you guys enjoy it, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We have also a Q&A coming to our Patreon on Sunday.
Yep.
If you want to be a part of that, we'll put a link in the description for more details as to how you can sign up. And thank you guys so much for your support over there.
Talk about that pumpkin boat.
Okay.
Maggie in that pumpkin boat just going around circles, man, that was a mood.
That is me in any boat. I cannot row, I can kind of swim. I might be better off just jumping out of the boat and swimming to shore at that point.
There was a lot about that was a lot of fun that date.
That date was really, really fun. I have to ask you though, is Maggie still out in the water? Because I don't know
I hope not.
Did she actually get any more screen time after that moment? Can we check in on her, please?
Yeah, I wish she had more.
It was a weird episode because, I really liked a couple of the dates. Like you said, I thought the pumpkin boats were really fun.
Yeah, and that Michelle date, if she doesn't win, man, I don't know what is going on. She is wonderful, and the chemistry is just beautiful between them. I mean, come on. Just propose, Matt. Oh, it's all right.
Well, okay, since I know we're gonna have to spend an eternity talking about the Anna Brittany just situation, let's talk about good things first. Let's dive into what makes Michelle so awesome. She really is. I really like her a lot.
Yeah, and, the fact that they did bring in all these new women kind of tells me, I mean, yeah, obviously producers want to have some drama or whatever, but it also tells me, and this is just my theory, that, my tinfoil hat theory, that maybe he wasn't making a connection or enough of a connection with the women that were there, and someone like Sarah was someone he was really vibing with, and she went home. And then you look at the rest of the cast, and there are some really good women there that don't seem to be getting a lot of screen time or getting a lot of time with him. And then there's everybody else that's causing a bunch of problems. So it wasn't too surprising to not only see a group of new women come in, see 4 of them stay at the rose ceremony, and then see one of them get the one-on-one date. I mean, everyone else is complaining, I've been here for 3 weeks and I didn't get the one-on-one date. What does that say?
How about, this is just a novel suggestion, how about some of you who are complaining about every living thing in the world, try to not do that and try to put your best foot forward, because also, production, this is my biggest takeaway from this episode. These people do not know they are on a TV show where people are recording their every move. If you're being a jerk, the producers aren't going to be like, hey, let's give the jerk a 20-minute block with Matt James in this episode.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they don't want to set Matt up for failure or to look bad either, where, say, he starts going out on one-on-ones with Anna, who came across quite badly in this episode,
yes.
And then he starts really falling for this person.
Yeah, they do not want to do this to us. They're trying to set Matt up for success. And, Michelle just seems so normal, so grounded. I loved how she had all the fun with those little Q&As that were in the balloons.
That was really fun. And I like that they both answered how many kids they want at the same time, and it was the same. There just felt like a really natural back and forth there. Like it was a great date. It was my favorite so far of the season.
That was so fun and so lighthearted, and I thought the Q&A stuff, like the little icebreakers, was brilliant. And yet we still had this like incredibly profound, like serious conversation between the two of them where, she is a teacher, and after everything that has happened this past year, this the conversation about talking to her students and being like, it was really meaningful, and you don't really get that on this show all that often.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, they were able to sort of dig deeper into each other without it feeling really forced, like we saw with Claire and Jason last season, where it was like, we're gonna take you on like this wellness retreat where I'm gonna be your therapist kind of thing. Like this just felt like it was naturally flowing.
Is this where we play the tribute montage to Claire and Dale, who broke up since the last time we did a video?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that, and I feel really bad for them. I mean, you think you found somebody. The purpose of the show is to find somebody. Yes, also Instagram followers and everything else, but just the same, I mean, you do want to find somebody. It's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, it's like, I know a lot of people on Twitter or Instagram have all their comments about it, but in the end, I was rooting for them. I root for almost every couple that comes out of this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I love love. I want to see people find people, and that is actually what I watch this show for. Like the drama stuff, I could take it or leave it, which is one of the reasons I really enjoyed Tayshia's season so much, because there was very little drama and lots of love.
We're not going to spend much time talking about Chris and Bree breaking up, because I do not think my heart can take it. I think I will crumble into ash in this video.
Yeah, for anybody who watched Listen to Your Heart, that we did, we loved that show. And a big reason we did is because Chris and Bree were just a great couple. Okay.
We're gonna move on.
This is my heart breaking.
No, it's just, we've been inconsolable for like days over this.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, Michelle has this wonderful, wonderful date, and it was a nice sort of palate cleanser, because this did come after we got to do it. We got to rip off the Band-Aid of Anna and Brittany, and I'll just say it, the disgustingness of this situation.
Seeing Brittany come up and she decided that she wanted to break the ice by giving him a kiss. She is not the first person to have done something like this. She will not be the last person.
Yes.
The comments that were coming out of these women's mouths that were just like shaming her and name calling her, like it really, and I know there's probably a lot of you out there that feel this way too, it just really turned me off. It is just such a like nasty, cruel thing to do. And I mean, maybe it's my age coming out, because I am going to be 46 next month, but like I just don't know why women would talk about each other that way or talk to each other that way for any reason. Like they don't know each other. Anna's claiming that she sort of knows of her and that she got some emails or DMs about her, but like they don't know each other. I mean, she's just out there trying to connect with Matt like everyone else. And there's this very weirdness as now in the house of like, we're the OGs. We've been here for 3 weeks. These people are new. I'm like, 3 weeks? You guys are like acting like you've been in years-long relationships with Matt. Some of you haven't even spent like even like 10 minutes with him. And you're like, I've been here 3 weeks. Who cares?
Yeah, like, I know this can be a very intensive environment where you get sort of like indoctrinated into it and all of that. But yes.
But it is still 3 weeks.
It is 3 weeks. Who cares about you being that upset about that? Who cares what Brittany does for a living? Because ultimately, you're all there for the same purpose.
Okay, yeah, we got to talk about that. So they brought up that maybe, possibly, they could have heard, so not confirmed at all.
No, not confirmed.
They bring up something that's, a pretty serious thing, that she may have been an escort or, spending time with people for money. And again, I have to say, who cares? Like, if it's true, then that's fine. Like, what difference does it make? Are you trying to say that if somebody is doing adult work, that they can't have love, they can't find love, they're not deserving of love, they're like less than? Like, it's just such a gross way of looking at something. I'm gonna get myself together here, but it really, really bothered me. And the second part of it is that it is a rumor that Anna is bringing to this show.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows about this. She doesn't even know if it's true.
Yeah.
Then it turns out that it's not true. Brittany has said it is not true, but now it's on TV. So you're going to have like half the people like me that are just like, okay, if she says it's not true, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. If that's what they're saying, then that's what's happening. But there is going to be people out there that are going to be like, oh, I'm sure that it is true. And now this is going to follow her around. That's why I was really glad that Katie went and said something.
Yeah, like there's such a crummy stigma around people who do adult work in this world, and
is.
Unfortunately, Brittany, regardless of what she does, and who cares what she does?
Yeah, who cares?
She's gonna be judged by some people for it. She's gonna be treated unfair for this thing that Anna, who started it, kind of acting like she kind of made it seem at first like she really kind of knew her in some way, and then it was just sort of like, oh, we've never actually met. And I was like, okay, so a carrier pigeon flew into your window and told you that they saw Brittany with some wealthy dudes in maybe wealthy dudes in Chicago just like hanging out with her.
Yeah, maybe they're friends, maybe they're relatives, maybe it's none of your business.
That is actually the correct answer. But now, let's return to Katie and applaud Katie some more.
Yeah, I'm really glad that she did this. Like you said, I mean, I kind of feel that way about people that are going to the lead and are usually like, so-and-so said this, because it's usually really petty nonsense. But this is actually really serious. She's right. Something like this could follow Brittany around, even though it's not true, and could hurt her. We don't know what career she actually is in. I don't really know a lot about her. What is going to happen to her down the road with something like this? Hopefully nothing, knock on wood, but it's so unfair, and I'm really glad that Katie said something, and I hope that Matt's going to be able to deal with it properly, because he doesn't know all the details yet. And I'm sure he's not going to go to this group of women and say, I've heard that some of you are treating other people badly. Can you tell me what you said? That Anna's not going to stand up and be like, me over here, I said that Brittany might be an escort, and I don't know for sure. She's not going to say that.
No, they're all going to be like, oh, I don't do anything wrong. I've never said anything that was mean. Like, they're going to deny, and I'm not making a generalization about just the people in this season. We've seen this over the years.
Yep.
People don't like to be confronted about what they did.
Nope.
He needs to actually take the time and have some conversations and try to figure things out. And for Katie, the thing is that you have such limited amount of time with the guy on this show if you're not getting one-on-one dates.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a selfless thing for her. And I don't want to just keep praising her the whole video, but I do think that she is basically sacrificing her own chances at winning this show to sort of take a stand against something that is happening. And, she's going to be admired so much more after the fact because of it.
Is she secretly a plant from producers who's just a therapist to try to, make sure everybody gets along to some degree?
She might be, because she's just, so rational.
Yeah, she is. And I'm glad that not only is she speaking out in front of the women, because she had that fight with Victoria where Victoria told her to, quote, shut up, which is ridiculous again. But, I mean, Katie is not going to stop. And that's what I really like about her, which is why I would like to see either her or Abigail as the next Bachelorette if they don't end up with Matt.
Yeah, those two are my top two right now also. Yeah. They both seem to be very genuine, good people. And one of my favorite moments in this episode was Katie just owning Victoria in that conversation where Victoria was like, yeah, so I need you to apologize to me for getting on me for being a terrible person. Okay, that's not exactly what she said, but that's basically what she said.
Yeah, and Kay's just like, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, yeah, good for you. You shouldn't apologize to her.
Yeah.
She told you to shut up when you were like, hey guys, can we all just maybe stop piling on Sarah who's not even here anymore? Ah, shut up.
Yeah.
You owe me an apology. No, I don't.
Yeah, it's just so good just to have somebody be like, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with your what. I wish there was somebody who would just follow Victoria around for some reason she's still there and just like do this every time. Because she was like doing this every time one of the new women came in. She had like some snide, nasty comment about all of them. She stole Catalina's tiara at one point, and then instead of giving it to her, she put it on the table.
Yeah, that was actually really weird to touch another person like that you don't know, that you just met. I mean, yeah, you're on TV, but you could touch the wrong person who decides to just break your nose.
Let me ask you this question. Have you ever been in a room full of strangers and been like, oh, that hat, that's my hat, and grab that hat and then put it on?
No, but if somebody came over and took something off my body, there would be a pretty different conversation than what happened there.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you don't do this. There's so many just like social norms that this show just threw in a dumpster fire tonight.
How is Victoria still here? Like, usually by now, I mean, we are going into like week, what is this, 4?
Yeah, we had
Five?
the rose ceremony.
Yeah, we've had another rose ceremony, and she is still here over people that I was kind of like, yeah, they haven't gotten a lot of time with Matt, but, you know, there's some potential here, and he sent home some really good women.
I thought, and I was ready to just like write this down in blood, that Victoria was gonna be sort of the, you know, token person who goes in the third rose ceremony. She'll have done her role, and then inexplicably she's still there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Chris Harrison is just being like, if you don't keep her, I'm gonna read you my book every night before you go to bed or something.
I feel like, and again, this is just like a tinfoil hat theory here, that producers are probably for the first couple weeks being like, listen, we have like 5 people that we want to keep, so you're gonna give roses to these 5 people, and anybody else you want to keep. Like, you know, you've got a lot of roses to give out, but this many people, we need them to keep to be able to, you know, keep stories going or whatever. That's what I think is happening, because there is no chemistry here with Victoria. There is nothing here for him to be keeping her. Yeah. Except that producers are like, this rose going to Victoria.
How much fun did you have when Chris Harrison interrupted Victoria in the middle of her conversation?
It was good.
Never has an interruption brought me as much joy. And Chris Harrison rarely does this. This is like a really rare, exciting event.
Did you see all the side eye all the women were giving Chris Harrison after he brought in the new women? It was pretty bad.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know that really when they're on there in their confessionals being like, how could this happen? That they really just want to, like, just fly out all the curse words in their head at producers, but they'll never put that on the air.
No, and when Chris came in, it looked like a few people wanted to lace into him.
Yeah, like, that's about as good as we're going to get. But, you know, let's celebrate a couple other women here, because Chelsea got the group date rose first, and we haven't really talked about her at all in any of our videos.
No, she's really smart. She hasn't gotten nearly enough screen time, and she is gorgeous.
I really liked hearing about the story about her hair and, you know, what that meant to her and sort of finding her. It was just, it's a story we don't hear all that much. We don't tend to hear, just like we don't tend to see, you know, people who are shorter women on the show. We certainly don't see people with short hair on The Bachelor all that often.
Yeah, it was really great that she opened up about that and sort of what her experience was like with that.
And then, you know, later on, Bree also got a group date. Bree, she is a contender. Like, she's had a one-on-one. She's got a group date rose, and it's still, like, for some reason, they don't want to give her a lot of airtime.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little bit like maybe she's kind of getting the Brendan treatment from Tayshia's season, where it was like, at the beginning, we got a lot of Brendan, and then in the middle, it was just like he kind of disappeared. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, we're at Hometowns, and Brendan's here. I'm like, what? All right.
Can I give you the one moment during this episode where I laughed like an immature 12-year-old?
All right.
Mari, these nuts are yours. How long do you think Chris Harrison had been planning to say that in the middle of an episode?
Probably a while.
You all laughed. That is, you may not want to admit it. Like, did you laugh when he said these nuts are yours?
I did, but I'll tell you what I did not laugh at, and I really want Bachelor to stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
That every single season of The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, people have to punch each other for love. It is so ridiculous, and I'm really kind of done with these, if you really want to be with this person, then you need to break this other person's nose for that. Why? How does this prove anything?
I'm still waiting for the person, and I like to do the strategy on the group dates. That's why I came up with my idea of just doing silly innuendo about breakfast for that one fan fiction challenge. But I would do this then. I would go into the ring, and when they said fight, I would lie down on the ground. I would not actually fight them. And then I would say some sort of stuff about pacifism or making love, not war, or like something like I would find a way to make a moment.
Like Joe last season, who was like, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's right, Joe. You own my heart when it comes to how to handle these situations.
Yes.
I'm not going in there letting somebody hurt me for no real reason at all.
No, and that would be what I would have said to Matt as well, where I'm just like, listen, I like you, I want to be here, but I don't need my nose broken for this to show you that I want to be here. I will sit right here and I will let everybody else do this, but I'm here for you, not to, go to the hospital.
One other bee in my bonnet with this episode. I know Bachelor Nation loves Bachelor Nation. I don't have any problem with Ben Higgins. He seemed like a perfectly good bachelor.
Yep.
Did Ben Higgins actually contribute anything to this episode at all?
I like seeing him there.
He was fine. He was fine. It's just like, I'm going to give them advice to Matt James on this situation that never happened anytime I was the Bachelor, so really I can't give him any advice at all.
I'm going to give it a pass because I like seeing past people come back.
I will say it could have been a lot worse than Ben Higgins.
Yes, it could have been.
That is the best, and also it could have been a lot worse than Wells, which, by the way, Wells is a funny guy, and they gave Wells like nothing to say other than just like sit here with Chris Harrison and be quiet.
Yeah.
But this is The Bachelor, episode 4. I feel like it's going to go down in, I don't know, weird dark history for the Anna stuff.
Yeah, it was mostly a really strange and negative episode with this like little bright light where we had Michelle, and then at the end this little bright light with Katie going and actually doing something about all this bullying and nonsense that's going on in the house.
I am actually interested about next week now because it seems like there could be a reckoning. Like, it seems like Matt's going to be talking to these people. I just hope this isn't just hollow words and he goes up there, he says something, and then he keeps all of the mean people again.
I think it's just tough because unless the mean people are actually pointed out, and more than that, pointed out for what they're actually doing, because the things that are going on this season, I mean, we've seen some pretty mean stuff in the past, but some of this stuff, like making up that someone is an escort, it's pretty dark.
It is dark. It is just, it's not fun. Like, that's not the fun drama I want out of this show. I want, like, people fighting while they're rowing around in big pumpkin boats. Like, give me more of that.
Yes.
But let us know what you thought about The Bachelor episode 4. Like, who are you rooting for at this point? Is it Michelle?
Michelle.
See, I can get fully on board this chant because she just seems like a wonderful person, and
she does.
I do want people to be happy at the end of this. But let us know, and if you like this video, subscribe for more updates, support us further, check those links to the store below in the description alongside our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.